know me, most of you do. I am not soft on crime, so to speak. Okay? I call good and evil by their proper name. I don't call sin anything other than what it is, sin. In those cases, those priests had made a mistake 25 to 40 years ago. It happened once. It never happened again. And they had 25 to 40 years of productive, fruitful, holy ministry. They're gone forever. And there's something wrong with that. I'm not saying we shouldn't deal with it. We must deal with these terrible things. But we have to look at them on a case-by-case basis. Now, that's not to say anything against the bishops, because the poor bishops, God help them, they have the hardest job in the world. And far be it from me to criticize the bishops for anything. But that being said, I'll criticize them anyway. Praying for them and asking the good Lord to help them out. It's not an easy, you know, they're between a rock and a hard place. I mean, it's just not easy, let's face it. We've got to pray. We've got to pray mightily for our priests. No priest, no Eucharist. No priest, no source, center, and summit of the church's life. No priest, the church becomes very hollow in a hurry. The Holy Father tells a story how after the Nazis and then the communists marched into Poland, the priests were persecuted. Notice that whenever violent dictatorship, whether it's the Nazis or the communists, when they march in, it's interesting that the priests are first on the hit list. Very, very interesting. Not that they're so smart, but Satan is smart, and he knows who to take out first. And don't you think that that's not who's behind it, because it is. In my era in the 60s, during the Vietnam War, I remember speaking to some of the men in special forces when they came back. They had found priests nailed to the floor of their churches, hands and feet nailed to the floors of their churches in the form of a cross. They would take nails and pound them into the skull just short of the brain so that it wouldn't kill them, but it would cause terrible swelling, terrible pain. And they would lie there nailed to the floors of their churches for days, and then they would die. The priest, always the priest, that the devil tries to take out first. Why? Because he knows where the power is.